Meeting of the Water Department. Call to order. Present. Dave Meswar, Commissioner.
John Kane, Commissioner, present.
Randy Brown, DPW Director.
Christie Maya, DPW Office Manager. Present.
Okay. Any public comment?
No, sir.
No. Okay, review of the minutes. We can't do that because Ed's not here.
Well, I wasn't here.
We'll table that until the next meeting. Elderly rate applications. We have rate applications. They meet all the requirements. There are six. They meet all the requirements.
Yes.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept all 6 elderly rate applicants.
My second. All in favor?
John Kane, aye.
Dave Meswar, aye. Okay, we'll go on to the next.
Can you sign all of them, Dave? And you
We sign, yeah, it's on the
can make sure you know.
monthly commitments. This is last month. We got those. DPW Director's report.
Yeah, a few things. It's been a little while since we last met. So the first item is the well to pump cleaning and refurbishing. That work was done, started in end of February and ran through March. Overall, the job went well. The equipment is in very good condition. So the work included doing a free television inspection of the well casing. They broke down the wellhead, cleaned it, replaced some of the parts. Same thing with the motor, did a kind of minor overhaul of the motor. And then they did a chemical injection of the well screening to clean any debris that built up on the well screen. So that went well. It was about a 3 or 4 week process. We had that well out of service, but it went well. It was during a low demand period, which was planned. So we didn't really rely on sprinkler water that much during that period. We were able to get by on well one. The next item is we're working on an application for cybersecurity improvements through our SCADA for some SCADA equipment that is now considered obsolete. That grant's going to be through EPA. The third item is we're working on the lead service line inventory. We've talked about this the last couple of meetings. Time Bonds, our consultant, working with us on that. We're trying to identify where any lead services may be in the town, whether it's on the town side in the street or on the homeowner side on the private property. So we've sent a survey out to residents. We did some door knockers a week or two ago on some select neighborhoods. And we've got, I'd say, lukewarm response to that, which is unfortunate. But they are planning on doing more door knockers next week, and hopefully we'll get some better responses. We completed our annual statistical report. One thing that came out of that was our residential gallons per capita day usage. This is basically how much water per person per day is Southwick using. And this is a metric that DEP uses and compares communities to each other. They have a standard of 65 gallons per day. We have historically been above that. This last year was at 78 gallons. We were, in that same range, mid to high 70s is kind of like our normal range. However, this year, Mass DEP is asking for what's called a compliance plan, and they want to know how we're going to be able to get down to 65 gallons per day. So I've kind of just started that process. I don't know where that's going to lead to. Just looking at the quick, what's that?
No, sorry, continue.
Just kind of looking at the, starting to look at the data. It's pretty clear that the usage is for, outdoor irrigation. So if we don't meet that 65 gallons per day, I'm not sure what the next step is, but DEP could cause out of compliance of our permit. And they could mandate certain conditions on the water system. So I will certainly keep you in the loop on that as we move forward. But I need to develop that plan over the next few weeks. Next item is Jeff Vitovelli is our backflow inspector. He's continuing those inspections. Usually he does a big batch in the springtime, and he comes back in the fall and does his second batch. Item 6, Christie's completed our annual consumer confidence report. There's a copy here in front of Dave. We do this every year. It'll be published in the Westfield News Saturday. And then we'll be posting this at various locations around town early next week. Nothing out of the ordinary. It kind of summarizes all the results that we have. All of our sample results from last year. Item 7, Mass DEP did a sanitary survey of our water system about a month ago on April 17th. This is something they do every 3 years. And they basically, first they start their office, they go through all of our records, and then they walk to each facility, or not, they go to each facility and just kind of take a quick look around and see if everything is up in order. So I've not received the report back from that yet. I would imagine that should be forthcoming soon, and I'll be sharing that with you, hopefully at our next meeting. And item 8 is our agreement with Springfield Water and Sewer. Expires on 6/30. It's currently a 5-year agreement. And so what we're looking to do is have an amendment to that agreement for another 5 years. That's what Springfield Water has requested. Because that contract exceeds 3 years, it does require town meeting approval. So there is an article at the town meeting next week to allow the select board to sign into a contract with Springfield Water and Sewer for that 5-year duration. That's all I got.
Thanks.
Any questions, John? Or-
Yeah, so we just accepted this water permit for 1.7 million gallons, but now we have to come up with a plan of how we're gonna reduce our water usage. I mean, I would have liked to have been included in that past vote too, but,
So it's so they're talking about the 1.7.
that doesn't include any of that, yeah.
This is residential use only. So when we do our report,
It'll
we have
be
to
all
break out
broken
residential versus commercial versus recreation versus water loss. Firefighting purposes, all that's all broken up by category, and we're looking strictly just at residential use here.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. Work order summary.
The next page has all of our work orders. You'll see a lot of seasonal turn-ons. There's a time of year for that. Everything else is pretty straightforward.
All right, appointments. Do you have any appointments?
We do, well, sort of, yeah, the kind of old business sort of appointment. So this is Mike Shield from Waller Computer.
How you doing, Mike?
He's here on behalf of 18 Hudson Drive. If you recall, a couple meetings ago, we had Mr. Wally, well, it wasn't Mr. Wally, but 2 employees talked about a bill that was issued to the owner, him, for repairs to a water service or a water main that was damaged during construction. So we issued the bill, and Mr. Wally wasn't keen on paying it. And I kind of has sat for a little bit. This is actually what happened last fall. So it kind of sat for a little while. Then Mike reached out to me maybe, I don't know, 6 weeks ago or so.
Or so.
And he asked to kind of come in and just meet with the board and talk about it. So happy
Yeah,
to
thank you.
turn the floor over to you, Mike.
Yeah, and so, I work at Waller Computer Associates, fortunate I'm their president, so just wanted to come on behalf of, we're building a new building there. Randy was good enough to come in and we chatted, like we said, 6 or 7 weeks ago, explained, kind of, what happened. I was traveling when that happened. Obviously, I talked to John, and Randy explained, the water commission needs the bill paid, we can't give a water meter for the new building until that's paid. I need water, obviously, so I said and I know, I think, like you said, I think a couple of folks came to one of the meetings and talked about it, and I thought I heard there was maybe going to be an appeal to DigSafe, and maybe that was denied. And I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but I wanted to come in and just kind of talk about it and ask if there's consideration, based on what I understand, for the commission to relook at that bill, for the, you know, for, I guess, the bill was for the repairs, to the pipe. So, you know, I know there were markings there. My understanding is we stayed, you know, within the markings there. And we hit the pipe, not thinking it was going to be there. So I did bring a picture. I don't know if it was shown the last time. I didn't know if I could show it to you. Again, I don't know what was showing. I'm just trying to, you know, show you what I have and my understanding about it for some consideration, you know, and as I understand it, like this is the road. And on Hudson, I believe that was the marking, that was made by someone from the town. And it shows where the pipe that was hit was. So, you know, off of where the marking was. So, again, I don't know if you had seen that already or if you had your own pictures. I just wanted to bring you that I had, you know, as far as that goes. So I'm just asking for consideration, by the board as a commission, you know, on that bill. And I just want to come, you know, personally and ask for that and kind of obviously we're trying to open the building up. We've got some other things that are on back order, but we're hoping to be in there, you know, at least get in there between the June and September timeframe, depending on some things we're waiting on, you know, to get the building up and running. But certainly, obviously, the water meter is a big piece of that as well. So that's kind of where I am. Again, I just am here representing our company, asking for, you know, thoughts on it. And certainly, I guess, if you guys decide and have a discussion offline, that's great. But if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to try to answer them to the best of my ability, to what I know. You know, but again, I just felt if I could come out and see it and, you know, hear your thoughts on it or whatever and explain what my understanding is of it. So.
Well, I know the last time we spoke about it, we referred it to DigSafe for the Department of Public Utilities.
Yep.
To let them look at it and
Sure.
decide who could have been at fault.
Yep.
Well, I was on the same meeting as Mr. Wally that DigSafe made us go to
Okay,
for a DigSafe violation.
gotcha. Yep,
So DigSafe
understood.
found the operator or the excavator at fault.
Okay,
With that being said, luckily it was during the time that the townspeople could come and work on it. And they
okay,
didn't have to call a contractor.
okay,
Because with the rates and the times, you would have probably been 3 times the cost.
okay,
I know that you had called to have someone come out and mark the water lines.
Yeah.
But that's not how it works.
sure.
You know, in an effort for everyone's safety,
Mhm.
you need to have all the utilities come out and mark it.
Yeah,
Right.
which we
So-
did, they expired, right?
So we have expired markings. You could have the roadway, the plowing, things change the markings. There could have been 2
100%.
sets of markings, right? So you need to renew that DigSafe,
Yep.
especially if you're gonna be doing a whole new project.
Correct,
You know, it's not even related to the original
Yep.
DigSafe.
correct.
So like we had said last time, we were gonna, to try to take, you know, any type of, I don't know, conflict of interest out of it, refer to the Department of Public Utilities. Their thoughts were, as far as I understand, is that Wally was at fault.
Okay,
And I think, based on the bill and the timing, I think it's a fair bill and that's the cost.
and I guess my rebuttal or my thought on that, on the DigSafe piece, right, expiring, you know, and someone from the town came out and marked it. I look at it and say, probably shouldn't have marked it. Probably should have said, where's the DigSafe permit? Can't mark it, you know, I
Yeah.
guess I'm looking for some consideration with that being.
Yeah, and I
part
think
of it.
coming out, right, as the water department saying, okay, that's the consideration that we gave, we'll come out and mark it, we'll try to do our best on your beck and call to come out and mark this for you. Right, the guys made a mistake if they had marked, but we have no pictures beforehand,
Mhm,
right? Before you do an excavation, after you call DigSafe, the operator should take a photo
mhm.
with some type of landmark around it.
Yeah.
I have all my operators do it, I do it myself. So you can concretely prove, you say, hey, we were digging here, the marks are here.
Sure.
You have to have that.
Okay,
Otherwise, we get into this, you know, he said, she said.
Yeah. and that's,
Department of Public Utilities, they take everything into it. It takes the conflict out of it and they decided that
Okay.
the operators were at fault.
and was there any issue with the town with DigSafe or was that not an
I
issue?
haven't heard.
I've not heard that, no, no one responded to me about
So
that,
there's
no.
no,
So the issue, so there were some prior markings around the property for the development, but nothing specific, no dig safe was called in specifically for this work.
okay,
I think there was some electrical work that was done, there was a dig safe called
Mhm.
for. And when that was called in, we marked out basically the whole area.
mhm,
This is, we're talking, I wanna say, months prior to this
Mhm.
meeting.
Right.
So, Mr. Willie never called in a dig safe for this work specifically.
yeah,
I got a,
yeah,
I got a phone call 10:30 on a Friday afternoon or Friday morning. Oh, by the way, we're gonna start working today. That was my notice that this is gonna happen. And
and,
then 2 o'clock that afternoon, he hit the line.
okay, and, yeah, again, and I'm here asking for consideration and, you know, looking back, I'd rather would have said it, maybe wouldn't have made people happy, but we can't market, you know?
You have to
And-
delay the job, and
Yeah.
that's ultimately, the thing is, that, you know, we're sitting here at a table in a conference room and we're
Sure.
debating a bill, right?
Yep.
The thing is, you don't know what utilities are in this road. And for the operators, they're going based on what their foreman or their boss is telling them, hey, we're digging here, and it's on the operator to be safe and look for the markings.
Mhm.
But they're feeling pressure even more so than the owners of the company, right?
Mhm.
So luckily it wasn't a gas line or a, high voltage line, because my company did this just recently.
Sure.
Same exact thing, very similar. We hit something we thought wasn't in the ground.
Mhm.
Luckily, no one got killed.
Mhm.
$4,000 bill is cheap to pay. It's a learning experience for everybody. These guys need to understand, you gotta call DigSafe. If it shuts the job down, that's how it is now.
Mhm.
This isn't
Sure.
the early nineties, the late eighties.
Yeah.
Safety is a big thing. We
Yeah.
don't have the same types of
Yeah.
people working in the trenches.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think the town did a great job coming out, taking care of it and accommodating before, after, and also
Mhm.
now 3 different times.
Sure, yeah, and again, I don't wanna get into it, there's obviously, you know, a lot of good things, the owners of my company have done, as well for the town, so I appreciate that on the town, and I appreciate what they've done as a resident of the town, that has seen that, so again, I can't answer what we marked for DigSafe or didn't mark, I know John's very thorough with what he does, but I can't answer that we marked for electric and gas, but not water, so.
Well, you don't mark for that.
Or what, again,
By,
I'm
by
not,
calling DigSafe,
Yeah.
you say we call DigSafe, and that
and
takes
then
it
they,
totally off
so,
of you.
which we did.
And you
which we
guys
did.
are continuing to build, you've been developing, right?
Yep.
So we made a mistake.
Sure.
And this is the cost of making a mistake, and now,
And I
going
think
down
we-
the road, everybody's gonna learn, the
Yeah.
operators are gonna learn that we need to call DigSafe, and when we're working in
Yeah.
the streets.
Yeah.
It's a serious
Yeah, and
matter.
I think there was, again, I looked and I live in the town, I think there was a mistake, just marketing. I think the answer should have been no, can't market.
Yeah.
And gone from there. So again, that's the consideration I'm asking. Obviously, I just want to make my case. If the decision is we pay the bill, I'll go back to my boss and let him know what the answer was. I don't know if you need to discuss it or if you just want to tell me now.
I mean, I could make a motion to. The bill is the bill, and have the bill paid, and then we can install the meter. So I'll make a motion to accept payment and go forth with installing a new meter.
So you make a motion to support the bill.
If they pay the bill, then they can
Okay,
have the new meter.
I second the motion.
All right,
Okay, all in favor?
John Kane, yes.
Dave Meswar, aye.
all right. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Unless you want to keep it, you can.
No, we have it in the packet.
Okay,
Thank you.
good stuff.
Thank you
All right,
for
thanks,
stopping
folks.
by.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
One page. Okay, that was old business, new business, Oak Ridge Estates Development. Confirm no public water connection.
Yeah, this is more of a formality. So in the town bylaws under planning, there's a requirement that if there's a new development town that whether will or will not tie into a water system, the water commissioners has to make a statement that, they are not tying in. So Oak Ridge Estates is off Mork Binding Road. It's the southern end. It's far, several miles from a water line, we'll never have public water. But we do need to make I guess a declaration that there will be no water connection in Oak Ridge Estates.
Okay, do I have a motion? To make that declaration?
Sure, I'll make a motion to declare that there will be no available public water connection for Oak Ridge Estates development.
I second that. All in favor?
John Kane, aye.
Dave Mizwar, aye. No water for you, 2 years.
Mhm.
All right, water and sewer wholesale contract amendment.
Yeah, I talked about this in my report.
Yeah.
The last few pages of your packet includes the draft contract or draft amendment. Just more information. I think I explained it. This is really, I guess, more say housekeeping item in my mind. I did pass this along to legal counsel. We didn't provide any feedback. There's really no changes. There is one amendment, but it doesn't affect us at all. It's regarding to water restrictions through the Water Management Act, which we already have adopted. We already, are required to apply to, so.
And that amendment's now being written into the Springfield.
Yeah, so the way it's very confusing. But so we are a registered, no, I'm sorry, we're a permitted community. I think I've talked about this before. We're
Yeah.
a permitted water community. Springfield is a registered water community. So because we have restrictions on our water use because we are permitted. Springfield and Agawam and Ludlow and other communities that, are off Springfield water system, they are all they're all registered. I was kind of like grandfathered in, basically, the way I look at it. But DEP is now putting more conditions on the registered communities to implement water restrictions this year and next year. So, as we do this time of year, we monitor stream flows in the Western River. If they dip below a certain level, we have to implement restrictions. There are other conditions that will require these other communities to have to implement restrictions, environmental conditions. So it won't be, in the past few years, it's been really just Southwick in the area that's had to implement restrictions. And I think Southwick, Northampton, and not West Springfield. And I want to say like Adams, like we're the only communities on all of this side of Worcester that have had to put in restrictions. The new conditions that DEP placed on the registered communities, they were adopted about a year ago, but they gave communities 2 years to implement. So this is the second year. So there may be some towns that implement restrictions based on those criteria, but I suspect a lot of them will probably wait till next year to do that.
Will registered water systems have lower or higher, thresholds compared to permitted, or higher restrictions?
So we have two conditions now. One is a stream flow. And the other condition is there's a drought declaration task force that meets once a month. And they look at the state as a whole and they look at the region. So we're in the Connecticut Valley region. And they'll make a determination whether our region is in a drought. And so if they make that determination, then yes, we will have, that's in our permit also, is that we have to implement restrictions.
Okay,
So
but
it's
if we,
either or.
but would Springfield have to necessarily or no?
So yeah, for us, it's either or, whether it's a stream flow or the declaration.
For them, it has to be both.
So for the registered, it's just the declaration. So there's no stream flow conditions on the registered. They're not looking at that. They're looking just at the task force and whether they say, well, our region is in a drought or not.
That's the difference. Okay. So their restrictions will most likely always be less than ours would be, regardless.
Yes, well, I'll tell you, 1 year, they're not always, in theory, they align, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is they don't necessarily. And I can go back to 1 year, probably 4 or 5 years ago where, I follow both, right? In 1 year, like our stream, I forget what happened, but I think our stream flows are going down, right? Our stream flows are going up, so we're gonna come out of the restrictions for the stream flows,
Okay,
but at the same time, the drought declaration was gonna put us in the restrictions.
back into it.
Like it was like they were conflicting, the
Yeah.
two. Just the way it is.
But either way, we would have been in the restriction. Gotcha. Okay, fair enough.
So it won't be just Southwick, maybe this year, but hopefully next year it'll be.
But the amendment's not
All
gonna
in there.
change much.
Springfield pumps water out of the West Hill River
Yeah,
for their Cobble Mountain Reservoir, so.
yeah, I'm doing that.
They got funny why they.
Let's not
they
go
lowered
there. Let's not
15
open
feet
that
just to-
can of worms.
To do some painting.
Yeah.
All right. Any other new business?
Oh, I got my water bill, so I was wondering, is there a savings if we don't put an envelope in there?
We meant like a mailing? Yeah, we.
Yeah, like to mail it back, cause I think a lot of people pay online. So I don't know if there was
I
like
don't know
a
if they
significant,
charge for envelopes or
but it's
not.
not, it's not posted, but it's still a envelope, And I know some banks, some loan companies and stuff have stopped sending envelopes because they want you to go online. I don't know if it's better for us to get them online. Maybe that'll help.
I know the office will love to push people towards online payment, but
I think
I,
without an
I,
envelope.
they can't require it either.
No, they can't, but I mean, if you have to get a stamp anyway, you can get an envelope.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I was, if there's a savings, I don't know. Might be a way to
I
cut the
can,
cost
I can
in.
get a
for
copy of the
people
bill
towards-
and take a look at it.
Yeah.
It might be nothing, so it might not be worth it, but
Question.
I just
Yeah.
happened to pull it out and I was like, I'm gonna pay this online, I don't need the envelope,
Yeah,
so.
People do return them though. All the time. If they come to the window, they'll slip the
Oh,
envelope
yeah.
through.
Yes, I think people would like to see a savings.
And then you get a surcharge for restocking the envelope and
Yeah, right.
putting it back in a new bill.
I was something to look into. I don't know.
Okay. Now we're at the next meeting date.
yeah, I know,
You wanna do the First.
Yeah, I'm good early June, I'm gone the end of June.
Let me see. I've just got my calendar. Well,
I won't be around the sixth, but I can always make sure everything's set up.
June second, third. Yeah, I'm good the first week of June.
6th of 20, so we did, I didn't mention it, but we did issue the water bills and they're due next week.
The 23rd.
So we may have some abatements that come in, none have come in so
Do
far.
we wanna wait, or do we wanna,
We can
Like,
play it
kinda
by ear, I
push it
can,
back
yeah,
another week.
we can reach out to you, the first week of June and see if you're available and see kind of what we have for, a workload for the meeting too.
yeah, cause I'm good. The first 2 weeks for sure, so the 6th or the 13th,
Yeah, I think I'll be okay the first.
alright, so 6th, that's fine.
The 13th is
Yeah.
actually a holiday, Juneteenth.
Oh,
Right.
that's observed then.
I thought that was the 19th.
Oh, was it the 19th?
Yeah,
That's
19th,
the
yeah.
19th.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, you're right, isn't it? Well, it's the 13th.
That was the 15th.
We can make them all holidays. We got a week of holidays.
Choose your own, any one of those 10th days,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Well, if Chrissy can't make it on the 6th, if there's any abatements. Might be tough, it's a lot of paperwork.
Yeah. Well, the sixth is a Friday, isn't it?
6th of Thursday.
Oh, no, I'm in 2025. I'm in 2025. Now I'm in 2023.
Like, I got nothing going on.
Yeah, the sixth, I should be okay, the 13th. No, the 13th, I won't be. 13th, they're going to Europe, so,
Well, if you guys do the 6th, as long as like the abatements are due the 23rd.
Okay.
By 4:30, so I can make sure all the paperwork's done and. I might be able to zoom into the meeting. I gotta look at the breakdown of the schedule that day, but.
Well, we can figure it out.
I'll be able to.
Yeah, if the 6th works, that's,
We'll pencil on the 6th. And then, we'll be in touch with you the week of, or with the week before, just to confirm.
alright.
okay. Anything else? Any new business? Anybody want to bring something up? No, hearing none, motion to adjourn,
Motion to adjourn.
my second. All in favor?
John Kane, yes.
Dave Miswalk, yes. And in panic, yes.